Our top story here at 5 o'clock, a deadly shooting suspect in custody. Ashley Grams will be live with what we know about the 32-year-old accused of opening fire at Vancouver Mall.
And today, Boeing machinists will vote on a new contract. We'll break down the latest proposal, which could end a month-long strike.
And as we get into cold and flu season, the CDC is recommending certain people get a second COVID vaccine within the next year. We'll bring you the latest guidance as KGW News at Sunrise starts right now.
5 o'clock hour on a Monday morning, first full week of November. And oh yes, by the way, a busy week around here because tomorrow is Election Day. Before we get to that, we will talk about Monday weather-wise, please.
Yeah, the dark season is here. Sundown before 5 o'clock. I call it the dark season.
Notice that over the weekend. Some clocks being changed.
We have some rain to go with it. And of course, that makes your morning even darker. Here's a look at what's going on. Some light showers. One wave has moved through, and then right now it's actually pretty quiet. But there's a front that will come into Portland around 11 o'clock this morning. So rain will pick back up again during the morning hours. And eventually we'll have a period of some noticeable breezy winds a little bit later this morning as well. But right now, south-southeast of 10, 51 degrees and more dry than wet out there with some light showers around. Noon, 54 degrees, scattered showers. Notice the moon, dark at 5 p.m., 53, 6:55 a.m. and 4:52 now. The sunset, Chris.
It's a little nicer and the other one just hurts, right? All right, let's get you out the door. We do have a little trouble in North Portland right now. North McCoy near Dana Court, getting word of a possible injury crash there. Back to the Freeway Drive. We're in relatively good shape out there. I-5 up near the near Victory Center, excuse me. The Expo Center, Victory Boulevard. We're in pretty good shape there. Highway 26, maybe a little damp out there, but so far, guys, the Freeway Drive is in relatively good shape to start our Monday morning commute.
All right, thank you, Chris. Top story here at 5 o'clock. Police arrested the man accused of shooting and killing someone inside Vancouver Mall on Halloween night.
Detectives and a SWAT team made the arrest on Saturday in Vancouver. Our Ashley Grams joins us now from the Vancouver Mall. Good morning, Ashley.
Drew, China, good morning. Vancouver police arrested 32-year-old Travis Ward. He's now charged with first-degree murder and assault. Ward is accused of shooting 3 people here inside the Vancouver Mall while wearing a Halloween mask. Now, one of the men who was shot died. 2 other men were shot. Those 2 men were taken to a hospital. They have since been released. Police believe this was a targeted attack. Now, at the time of the shooting, the mall was hosting a Halloween trick-or-treating event for families. We talked with one mall employee who made it out safely.
It was honestly quite sad. Just there were so many kids in the mall, and initially when it had happened and I'd heard the shots, I just looked up and I saw like hundreds of people just running through JCPenney's trying to get away.
Now, we did talk with the Clark County Prosecutor's Office yesterday. They say Ward is expected to be in court this afternoon. Drew, China.
Thank you, Ashley. In less than 2 hours, Boeing machinists will begin voting on a new contract.
So if workers vote yes, it would end a nearly 2-month strike and get those machinists back to work. Thomas Schultz has the latest for us from the KGW newsroom. Good morning there, Thomas.
Hey, good morning, Drew and China. And today, machinists will vote on a new contract from Boeing, which would raise wages 38% over the next 4 years. Now, the union is endorsing the contract proposal, which is offered to more than 30,000 machinists. This comes after an overwhelming amount of workers voted to strike back in mid-September, rejecting a 25% wage increase over 4 years. In a statement last week, Boeing said it also is offering a $12,000 bonus upon ratification of the contract. Boeing also plans to up its contribution to employees' 401k plans. Still, there's uncertainty whether workers will actually agree to the deal. On Sunday, machinists in Seattle told our sister station they were anxious for the vote. Some are asking for the return of a pension, which Boeing revoked years ago. Now, workers say what they want is fair.
My message to Boeing is trust the workers. We want the best for this company.
Lengthy strikes are nothing new to this union. In the last Boeing strike back in 2008, machinists were on strike for 8 weeks, costing the company $100 million daily in deferred revenue. In 1995, a machinist strike lasted 10 weeks. And today, some voting locations will open as early as 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. in yet another attempt to reach an agreement. Drew?
All right, Thomas Schultz live in our newsroom this morning. Meanwhile, in other labor news, dozens of mail carriers rallied outside the East Portland Post Office, speaking out against a tentative contract agreement between the U.S. Postal Service and the National Association of Letter Carriers. They're calling the tentative deal, quote, essentially a pay cut that doesn't keep up with inflation. Mail carriers have been working without a contract for over a year. They'll vote on this new contract throughout November.
The CDC is recommending that high-risk adults get a second updated COVID vaccine by spring. This includes people ages 65 and up and those with weakened immune systems. The recommendation is to get a second updated dose of the 2024-25 vaccine 6 months after their first dose. Some Oregon Health Plan members may now qualify for new housing benefits. The benefits include rental assistance, utility setup and payments, and home modifications for things like adding ramps and grab bars. Folks interested in receiving housing benefits can work with their health plan or health care provider to see if they qualify.
All right, before we check in with Rodney Hill, how about a live look from Stumptown Coffee's Southeast Portland location? They are celebrating their 25th anniversary this month. That's right, back in 1999, Stumptown Coffee got its start here in Portland. Crazy thing that I read about over the weekend is the fact that not only do they have their cafes here in Portland and also at the Portland airport, they also have a cafe in New York, one in Pasadena, California, and a third in Japan. So Stumptown Coffee has gone international, my friends. How about that?
If you would be quiet, I'm watching the croissants right now go into the little pastry area there. Yeah.
Rod does speak croissant, so I'm not surprised to hear that you're listening to the pastries this morning.
I thought they were giant fritters at first, which I would really be excited about, but they're big croissants, so very nice there. 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
How about that? All right, I've been here 25 years. So that means when I arrived, that's right when they were starting, because I don't remember them not being here. Satellite radar, there's a low, and it's a pretty good one. The low center itself will stay to our north, and it will play a factor in bringing in some winds, including a mix of wind advisories and wind warnings from the Dalles out through the Columbia Basin this afternoon into tonight. And I'll get more into that wind forecast coming up in about 10 minutes here on our show. For now, note if you are driving up to Seattle, you'll find increasingly much heavier rain than what we will find here in Portland. So far, we've had some light rain pass, but I mean, if you're getting ready to step outside right now, it's more dry than wet. With that said, the ground is wet from the light rain that we've had already, so the bricks have water on them. 51 degrees from the Pioneer Park building looking at downtown Portland. Temperatures outside, 40s to about 50. It's 50 in Vancouver and Portland, but most other areas are in the 50s, in the 40s. 45 in Happy Valley right now. Good morning to you folks. Salem's holding at 50. Down in Albany, it is 47, so temperature is really not an issue. With that front coming, there will be a little burst of wind eventually later this morning. In fact, could be some 40-mile-per-hour southwest gusts for you folks at the coast. Now, the front comes into the beach later this morning, and then afternoon winds will ease, and everything will go to scattered showers and some sunbreaks. Here are the temperatures statewide today. It'll be later on when we get showers out across the east. And again, in the morning, rain picking up, and then the front passes, and we'll get scattered showers this afternoon. Kind of a typical day, really, with that little bit of wind burst we think later on this morning. 56 today, a lot of clouds tomorrow with a shower threat. And then we're all dry Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right now, the upcoming weekend looks rainy, and it's that time of the year. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Let me practice it one more time. Right now, the upcoming weekend looks rainy. Okay, that's your forecast.